Well, it's a Saturday afternoon. It's just you and I left, Frank, right?
As usual.
Frank has just rebuilt a Atari power supply for me for my Tempest at my house. All new capacitors, new amplifiers and things. But this video is to show you, this came out in January of '83. Frontline was a big hit though. I wanted to show you some things about this game that do make this unique. First of all, look, orange T-molding, beautiful size. Look at this artwork. Isn't it magnificent? I'm telling you, there's so few of these that survived, they got converted. Sadly, they got converted to other games. We did put a new overlay on from this old game. And back here, I wanted to show you the layout. What made this specific game unusual is it actually had this protective screen on it. Actually, you know what, Frank, this is a good time to cut back to the other footage. You can see here, this actually had this cover on it. We've never seen one with that on it. And the power supply still works. It's got this huge heat sink on it. It's actually still working. Of course, we're going to update that before he gets the machine. Should we put this cover back on, Frank?
No.
But it looks so nice. I've never seen one with it. So I'm not sure what, interesting. There you go. Look at that. So we finished the game, and we're going to put this back on. Cleverly, this hole is so you can reach the dip switches. We decided to keep the everything with it. I thought that was a good idea. Didn't you think so, Frank?
Wonderful.
This interconnect board, they did this, see all these little parts, this was supposed to reduce the interference. It was actually more trouble than it was worth because we still had problems with interference. CB radios, back then CB radios were big, and these games were interfering with the signals from them and also from cars, cop, police, fire and stuff. I wonder, somebody told me once who was, Walter Day I think mentioned it was Quicks. I think that's the one that had the most interference or something. I do remember him telling me that, but board system was their standard one that they were using at the time. Jungle King, Elevator Action, all used the same boards. It's like 4 wafered boards, connected with these ribbons, and the edge connectors here. It's actually pretty durable, Frank. It does hold up well, and the wretched old power supply is gone. We actually had it in the game and it was still working, Frank. Can you see that helped? Yes, it will. The original power supply was still in the game and still working, but what we've done is we've put this big computer grade one in and connectors. So if that fails down the road, the customer will be able to buy a simple one and replace it. You can see how nice and neat it is. Frank, did you do this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. See how nice and neat he is? The wire ties, everything, even the power plug over there in the corner. We're using that transformer for 2 reasons. It's the isolation transformer for the TV monitor. And number 2, probably more important, that runs the 6-volt lights that light the marquee and the monitor. Frank, come over here. Taito did something unusual. See the 44 bulbs are lighting up the instruction panel. So even in a dark bar or at a bookstore, wherever it might be, you could see the instructions on how to play. The monitor's been rebuilt. It's an unusual monitor, a Hitachi monitor that we have recapped, put all new caps in. Frank, weren't there like a boatload of capacitors?
That was a lot of fun. Not.
Boatload.
That power supply, though, you could probably get away with a screw terminal, but there's a lot of connectors and a lot of boards. I felt more comfortable with the bigger one.
Oh, yeah, yes. You can see Frank is using all the wires from the original harness.
But you also have to jump 5 volts to the reference because this has that startup circuit on the power supply. That's how you can bypass that.
Ah, so, yes.
Because you won't have shutdown problems with this like you would with the old power supply.
Yes. Quicks had the shutdown problems. A lot of them did. You can see the marquee is lit with regular light bulbs. One of our customers said, would you please show this special control? That's this one here. You see, not only does it turn in D, you see like this, but you push it down to fire. Very unusual control, also used in Wild Western, which in fact was a replacement for this very same machine. So you could actually put that into this as a kit. Now look, leaf switch joystick. Just so we don't start the game by accident, we'll unplug this hefty controller. See when you push it? See, isn't that nice? And then you can select. Now obviously each time you turn it, first one switch is on, then two. So in other words, each time you turn it, you actually have 8 positions. So that's how the game knows. If this switch is on and the others are all off, then it knows where it's pointed. But if 2 of them are on, then the game can point the game in a different direction. So it technically has 8 different positions without the bother of a joystick. Very clever, very clever. Very unique, and this game, though, ended up getting converted a lot. I don't know whatever happened to those controls, because obviously, whatever they converted it to would not use that control. So if they put one in a Pac-Man or some goofy bootleg game, it wouldn't have turned up any other way. Game, I was also reading that this was one of the first games to be a war-themed game by one person rather than have a tank or something. But you do have tank stuff, so you got to avoid that hole. Now, there's 2 different kinds of tanks too. Very clever. Obviously, you have to try to get across. I never knew how to play this. I have one of the few surviving cabarets in all the world. I haven't used my grenade button. Yes, you have a really nice feature, so you can pick this. No,
You blow yourself up. That's a really cool feature.
Wait.
Do it again.
You know what? I thought I was getting confused with the game. I kept thinking that was one of those things where you power yourself up, but instead I powered myself down.
Yourself up already.
Frank, this shows you that I don't play it much. I have a cabaret. I started telling you I had a cabaret, Frank, and you got
maybe you should start practicing.
And I just don't get a chance to play them much. Where's my tank? Frank, I'm not doing well. My last guy, our men are down here. You see how this lights up? Isn't that nice? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
There it goes.
I didn't do well, did I, Frank? I could play Pac-Man. Anyway, don't have any numbers. I tried to find some production numbers and I couldn't find any. But look, we did polish these bolts on our wire wheel. And it's got that wonderful, of course, we always love that joystick, of course, all new buttons. Frank, it's a beauty. I think the guy's going to be really happy. You know, another nice thing I liked about the Taito games in this cabinet is you could turn them on and off from the front of the game. Good in your house, not good in the corner store, because the kids would do it routinely. As soon as they found out that switch, it's another switch to flip, and they would flip it off and on. We haven't had many of these pass through. We'll give you a real quick look out. We got Neo Geo 4 slots almost done. Have another board that just came in. Look, a spring break with the super bright LEDs. I'm not doing a video on these. We have so many of these videos up, but you can see how beautiful this thing is coming out. We haven't quite finished it. He needs a little more touch up on it. Another high speed. You can actually see the LEDs under it. You can see we have the playfield open and wire tied up so it doesn't come clobbering. This is a good way to see. See, we're putting brand new plungers and links in to replace the old worn out ones. So this is how he starts, see? And then we'll continue from there. You can see stuff is hanging because we're still rebuilding. We had a blown out coil, a lot of parts on this. I think he said he had, oh Frank, come on this side. I think he said, yes, he changed all 3 of these, 3 brand new. You can see he's done super bright LEDs. It's coming along nice. And look at this beauty. Well, as a matter of fact, this is a board we're testing for a customer. This Ice Fever, you've seen videos on this, but I want you to see, this is our first one with super bright LEDs. Look at this thing. Gosh, it's beautiful. Stephen did a beautiful job on the cabinet on this too. This is actually going to a retirement home. They've ordered 2 games from us, a Shuffle Alley and a pinball. Look at this. Stephen did a big repaint. we had to do some head work here. Now notice, originally it stopped here. We have a block of wood to support the skinny head. That was the only issue with these heads. But now it is bulletproofed forever and ever. If the machine should ever come back to TNT, it will not have any problems with the head. Look at the size, isn't that nice? Hey, look at the startling difference between this machine and this poor Road Kings. Nothing's been done yet. This is a Road Kings. Cabinet is finished, but this has got to be the dingiest, dullest playfield on planet Earth. They are just, I can't believe somebody would treat their game this poorly. I just can't believe it. We have the Logic, but we just finished the power supply and other parts, but you can see how dingy these machines appear before we work our magic. Look. Oh, now here's a toilet. This guy, he bought this at a Atco Raceway years ago. This is how played it got. Cigarettes laying here, burning away. The guy actually had this thing in his house. God. Monday Night Football is almost done. Ass Turds that is almost done. The cabinet is working on the cabinet. Yeah, a little work. We're working on the electronics. Anyway, oh, and lastly, this is, a lot of people are waiting for this game, TX Sector. This is a nice way to see TX Sector with nothing at all on the playfield, but the factory Mylar is still intact. You can see we take everything off the field. It was cruddy. Everything is laid out here. And then this is where Tony will go and start putting this baby back together again. So we already got board repairs. See, Stephen has worked on the cabinet. Cabinet is just beautiful in most spaces. He still has some more touch-ups and stuff. But, oh, Frank, I think, did we cover everything? Yes,
yep.
I think we did. No more videos until next week. Yes. Frank, people want to see our videos. I think.
My arm's getting tired. Can we wrap this up?
Oh. See you next week. Good night.
We're done here!